Hi, it's Divyajyoti Mahapatra. Welcome to my channel DJM Physics.
Hello students, today we will start the new topic, that is current electricity. In the last two chapters, whatever we have studied, there we have learned how the electrons will behave when they are at rest. Okay, that is why the topic name was, or the unit name was electrostatics. But now in this topic we will learn how current is generated. Current means when the electron starts moving, okay, they generate a current. So in this chapter we will learn how it is generated and what are the properties, how to use, and all that topic. So the topic name is current electricity. Okay. So before starting, let me just remind you what you have learned in the class 9, 10, in those classes. You have learned that current equal to charge by time, I equal to Q by T. But remember that formula, there are 2-3 important points in those formula. First thing, that current is not equal always charge by time, means you cannot always find by using the formula Q by T, because charge, that formula is only applicable when the charge is flowing uniformly. But when the charge does not flow uniformly, I cannot use I equal to Q by T, rather I have to use I equal to dQ by dt. First thing. Second thing, that charge means here electrons, and that too free electrons. Remember this. You cannot tell that the electrons are flowing. Those are actually free electrons. The electrons, those are bound with the nucleus, they cannot flow, means they are not flowing and providing electric current. The charge which are detached from the molecules or detached from the nuclear attraction, they can only, due to thermal energy or due to external energy, okay, those electrons, those free electrons can only provide you electric current. In metals, in semiconductors, there are two things, one is electron, another one is holes. About that we will learn later. Okay, so let us start.
Let me start like this. Let there are first thing, let me write it down. I equal to dQ by dt, rate of change of charge. I can write it also I equal to Q by T only when the charge is going to be flow uniformly. If charges flow uniformly. Okay, this is the first thing. Second thing, the units and dimensions. Okay, charge has a unit of coulomb, SI unit of coulomb, and time has second. So it should be coulomb per second, but it is given a name as 1 ampere. Okay, this is the SI unit, and CGS unit is start ampere. This is SI, and the CGS unit is, actually it is not CGS, I have already told you, it is actually ESU, electrostatic unit is start ampere. Okay, and what is the dimension? If you can remember that current is a fundamental quantity. Okay, now if current is a fundamental quantity, obviously it should not be converted to any other form. Okay, so I can write current or dimension of current is simply A1. Okay, now the next thing I have to know is about the electronic current and the conventional current. What do you mean by that? Remember that whenever in a circuit the electron starts to flow in this direction, let the electrons are flowing in this direction, okay, then I can tell that the current is in opposite direction. The current is in opposite direction, and in a where if positive charges flow in this direction, I can tell that current is in this direction. Okay. Now the question is, positive charge cannot produce a current. Okay, only electrons are going to produce current. Then why electrons are made negative? Every time we are seeing that electron has much more importance than the positive charge, because here positive charge does not mean the proton, here positive charge means absence of electron, which actually does not exist. So why we are not taking electron as positive? Because when remember that current discovered first, okay, current was discovered first, and then we know about the charges. Means first we knew about current, at that time we did not know that it was due to electron or it was due to proton, or whether electron or proton something like that exists. For that time we just called it a charge, and when later on it was known that due to electrons current is flowing, at that time many research papers were already written and it was not possible to change everything. That is why this type of odd convention we are using. Anyway, forget about that. You remember that the flow of the electron or the direction of flow of current, flow of electron is known as electronic current. What is that known as? Electronic current. Remember, current means flow of something. So it is electronic current, and this current, the opposite direction current that we are telling, that is known as conventional current. Okay, and here in this chapter, whenever we are telling that a current is flowing, actually we are telling that the conventional current is flowing. We are not talking about the electronic current. Okay, this is the point you have to remember. Okay, now what is the magnitude of current? Means how much magnitude of current we are actually using in our day to day life, or we are seeing in our day to day life. Current in our home appliances is around 1 to 2 ampere maximum. It is always between 1 to 2 ampere. In lightning case, okay, when lightning is coming, that is also one kind of current. There current flows from the cloud to the earth, and that time the current is about 10 to the power 4 ampere, okay, around 1000 ampere. And in our knobs also, if you are a biology student, you can understand that whatever communication is there in between our human body or in between a animal body, that is through knobs, and electronic signal through knobs. There also a current is there, very little current, but a current is there, and the current is 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. So these are the normal amplitude. So from here you should understand that 1 ampere is actually a large current. Okay, in many cases you are not going to see 1 ampere current. So normally we are going to use microampere, milliampere, or start ampere, like that, while we are dealing with the day to day life cases. Okay, now let us solve a simple question. I am reading out the question, you can note it down, then we will solve. In a hydrogen atom, an electron moves in an orbit of radius 5 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter. Okay, I can note it down. In a hydrogen atom, an electron moves in an orbit of radius 5 into 10 to the power minus 11 meter with a speed of 2.2 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. 2.2 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Find the equivalent current. Okay, this is the question. So first we have to find, we have to write the equation. Okay, this is question 1, you can write. We have to first write down the equation of current, I equal to what? Q by T. Okay, now here what is revolving? A electron, so Q E. Don't write minus E. Okay, that is only due to the means minus symbol. Here only we are calculating the magnitude, so no need to write. You will write the minus symbol when you are talking about the direction or when you are talking about the vector form. Okay, here we are only calculating the magnitude. E divided by time. Now how much time it is taken? See, it is moving in a, if this is a nucleus and this is an electron revolving, it is revolving in circular orbit, we know, and it is also given about the radius, and the velocity with which it is moving. So obviously to revolve once, how much distance it took from here to here? Obviously perimeter of a circle, that is 2 pi r. And how much time it is going to take? How to find that time? Because the velocity is v. Okay, so how much time it will take to cover this one circle? 2 pi r by v, distance by velocity. Okay, so if we will put it here, it will be 2 pi r by v. And now simply solve it by putting all the values. The equation will be EV divided by 2 pi r. And what is this? This is the amount of current when the electron is completing one circle on one revolution. Okay. Now if we put all these value, E value we know 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, V value is given in the question, that is 2.2 into 10 to the power 6 divided by 2 into pi is 3.14, and R is given as 5 into 10 to the power minus 11. So put all these value and you will find the answer as, you can calculate it, I am just doing it for you, 1.12 into 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. So this is the answer. So what is this current? This is the current produced by an electron when it is revolving around the nucleus once. After every revolution, means in one revolution, it is producing this much amount of current, because electron is a charge and when charge moves, it produces current. So it produced 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 3 ampere, or I can tell 1.12 milliampere. Okay. Now let us solve one more question. Again write it down, the question. The current through a wire depends on time as I equal to I naught plus alpha t. Again write it down. The current through a wire depends on time as I equal to I naught plus alpha t, where I naught equal to 10 ampere and alpha equal to 4 ampere per second. I naught equal to 10 ampere and alpha equal to 4 ampere per second. Find the charge that flows across a section of the wire in 10 seconds. Find the charge that flows across a section of the wire in 10 seconds. Okay. So let us check how to solve that. So what is given? It is question number 2. Actually it is given that I is equal to I naught plus alpha t, where I naught value is given as 10 ampere and this alpha value is given as 4 ampere per second. Okay. And it is asking what is the total amount of charge flows in the circuit. Now here you can see that the current is not constant, it is changing with time, and current is changing with time only when it is possible, only when the charge will change with time. So here the current is variable current and you cannot find it I equal to q by t. What you have to use? I equal to dq by dt. Okay. Now when I equal to dq by dt, I can write it also as q equal to integration of I dt, same thing. Okay. Derivative of q is giving you I, so integration of I will give you t. So I can write it here, q equal to integration of, in place of I can write I naught plus alpha t dt, and time is giving from 0 to 10, because in the question it is given that the time for which the current flow is 10 seconds. So by putting these values and doing the calculation, you will get this this integration. If you will do it will give you I naught into t limits from 0 to 10 plus alpha into t square by 2 limits from 0 to 10. Okay. And again put the values, and I naught t and everything you put down the values. I naught is 10, here it is 10 minus 0, alpha is 4, here let me take this 2 outside, and t square is 10 square minus 0 square. So if you calculate all these things, you will get Q equal to 300 coulomb. Okay, so this is the answer. 3 equal to 300 coulomb. Okay, so what we have used here, I equal dq by dt. When we have used this, when the charge is not constant, when the current is a variable current. Okay, now by using this concept, this I equal dq by dt, and if you remember the formula, do you remember the meaning of derivative and integrations in graphical method, or in graphical meaning of derivative and integration, you can remember that if this you can take as note, or you can simply remind it from your class 11 studies, that if I am writing I equal to dq by dt, it means the q versus t graph, that it is a q versus t graph is here given here, q versus t graph. If you find the slope of this graph, the slope will give you the current for I. Why? Because if you are finding I by doing the derivative dq by dt, it means q by t graph. From q by t graph, you can find the value by taking the slope of the graph. This is the graphical meaning actually. Similarly, if you are doing let me adjust the paper so that you can see this. Okay, so here again we are writing q equal to integration of I dt. Okay, integration of I dt, it means you are doing the integration from I and I with respect to t get the value of q. So graphically I can tell the same thing, that if you draw a graph between I and t, current and time, that you are getting this type of a graph. So this area under the graph will give you, this area under the graph, will give you the charge or q. This is why, because slopes graphical meaning, derivatives graphical meaning is slope, and integrations graphical meaning is area under the curve. You have learned it in class 11, and also you will prove it or you will use it in class 12 mathematics. Okay, and let us come to the next part. Again, from this equation, this concept, I am giving you an assignment, you should solve it. Okay, this is your assignment. I versus t graph is given here. I is given in ampere, okay, and t is given in second. Here t is like 2, 4, 6, 8 like this, and here it is given 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So let the graph is like this, it is given like this from here and up to this, like this. Okay, the question is find the total charge flown in 0 to 6 seconds. In 0 to 6 seconds. This is a question. Okay, a graph is given, so very simple, just find the area between 0 to 6 seconds. It is given up to 8, but you don't have to go for 8, you have to just go up to 6 seconds. Here it is given 6, so you have to find this area. Okay, this is a triangle, find the area. This is a rectangle, find the area. Just add them, you will get the answer. Okay, so this is a question. Now let us come to the next part. So here we will learn about the mechanism of current flow. Mechanism of current flow. Remember that conceptually and for exam point of view, in both the cases, this part is very much important. Okay. So, let there is a conductor placed here. Okay, I have taken a conductor. No battery, nothing else, simply a small piece of conductor I have taken. Okay, it is not connected with any battery, nothing else. Inside the conductor, there will be molecules. Okay, it may be ions, it may be molecules, but these are very big as compared to the electrons. Okay, remember, these are not movable, these are not movable, they are not moving here and there. What is moving? Free electrons. Let here there is a free electron here, here and here, these are let free electrons. These free electrons are moving. Remember, just for diagram point of view, I am showing only this much, few number of free electrons and few number of ions and molecules. Otherwise, the density is very larger, Okay, I will tell you exactly how much later on. Now, as we know that these free electrons moves randomly inside the metal. Why from where they are getting the energy? They are getting the energy from room temperature or from thermal energy. In the room temperature, however less it may be, okay, it is getting some amount of heat energy, and due to that heat energy, it starts moving here and there. Let this electron start from here, bombarded here, it came here, then let again it came here, then like this, then it may come like this, then it may move like this. So, like this, arbitrarily they are moving here, let here, then here, like this, let this particle is moving like this, again it is bombarded like this. They are arbitrarily moving, arbitrarily. Let I am just drawing for one particle or one electron, it is gone here, but it is bombarded, then it came here, then it came here, then it came here, then it again bombarded, it came here, like this. Arbitrarily they are moving, there is no certain way, they are just moving arbitrarily. Okay. Now, if we take all the means, let I am telling that at any instant the velocity of the first electron is u1 vector. Okay, is u1 vector. Then like this, there are many electrons are there. If I am going to add all of them, u1 vector plus u2 vector plus u3 vector, let there are n number of electrons were there. So, at any instant all of their velocity I have added and divided by n, means I am taking the average velocity. What is this? U average vector, means all the velocity vectors, means all the velocity of all electrons at a particular instant. Okay, and it is going to be 0. How I know it is going to be 0? Why? This point is important. How I know that it is going to be 0? There are many vectors are there. Whether is it possible to add all these vectors? There are 10 to the power 28, 10 to the power 25 number of electrons are there. So, is it possible to add all these vectors and find the answer? No. Then how I got that it is equal to 0? Because if there is a net velocity of the electron exists, then obviously if you are going to touch the conductor, you are going to get a current. But here the conductor is not connected with any battery, nothing, not with any source of potential. And in that case, if you are going to hold a conductor, means simply you take a iron piece and you hold that. Are you getting any current from there? Are you getting any shock from there? No. It means, and why you are not getting? Because the net velocity must be 0. If the electrons have some velocity or the net velocity, then you must get current from there. You are not getting any current. It shows that this net velocity or this average velocity must be 0. This is the first part. And why this, how these motions were taking place? Due to the thermal energy. Okay. Here two data you note down. What is that? This speed of these electrons were 10 to the power 5 meter per second. In the range of 10 to the power 5, it may be 10 to the power 6, it may be 5 into 10 to the power 5, it may be 9 into 10 to the power 4, but it is the range of the velocity, these velocities. Okay, all these velocities were in these range. Okay, and what is the electron density? What is the density of the electrons inside a metal? that is 10 to the power 28 electrons per meter cube. Per meter cube means in 1 meter cube there were 10 to the power 28 number of electrons. Why this number is very important? Because this number or this density shows us that how much number of collisions will be possible there. Remember, only this much electrons we are writing, free electrons this is, okay. Except this, there are many number of molecules are there, many ions are there, and with all these ions, molecules and electrons, one electron is moving from here and there. So you can assume how many number of collisions it is going to take in 1 meter cube, means you can assume how much small it is, not a very big thing. There this much number of free electrons plus ions plus molecules, everything is there. So you can assume how many number of collisions are going to be, okay. Now let us connect this same material or the same conductor, piece of conductor, with the external source. Let I have connected here a battery, okay. Now when battery is connected, let the potential is V. Now when battery is connected, obviously there will be an electric field from where to where, from the positive to the negative terminal, there will be an electric field along this direction. Now since there is an electric field along this direction, the molecules are obviously here as they were in the previous case. They are not going to move here and there, they will be like this. So since there is an electric field, remember that this electric field is not enough. In general case, it is not enough to move these stable molecules or the ions. They are not going to move. But these free electrons, that those were there inside the conductor, they are going to experience a force. Why they are going to experience a force? Because we know that F vector equal to Q into E vector. So obviously they are going to experience a force, they have some charge, and here in this case it will be minus E into E vector. Minus I am using because I am writing it in terms of vector. And what is this force? A electron will experience this much amount of force. This is the charge of electron and this is the electric field created here. Again we know that F equal to Ma, so I can write Ma equal to minus E into E vector, okay, or I can write A vector equal to minus E vector divided by M. So this much amount of acceleration the electrons are going to get. Now what happen if they get acceleration? Acceleration got, it does not mean that the electron starts flowing in the straight line. It cannot flow. It went here, here it bombarded, then again it came here. But here, although they are going to be bombarded, they will always try to move in this direction. Remember that electron is a negative charge, okay. And whenever, as we learn, that if electric field will be there along this direction, then a negative charge always get the force in the opposite direction. This minus symbol also tells the same thing. The acceleration and the electric field are always in the opposite direction. This tells us that the acceleration and the E vector are opposite, okay, always they are opposite to each other. Now let us understand what does this mean. What is the difference? Here also they were moving here and there, here also they are moving here and there. Now what is the difference? We can compare this motion as we are moving in a festival, okay. In Hindi if I am explain, एक मेले में हम जा रहे हैं जिसमें बहुत सारे स्टॉल्स हैं, यहाँ एक स्टॉल है, यहाँ एक स्टॉल है, यहाँ एक स्टॉल है, जैसे ऐसे ऐसे करके स्टॉल्स बहुत सारे हैं यहाँ पे. And you are moving, you are a child, okay, a very young child of let's 7, 8 years, 10 years like that, and you are moving with your father. You saw that here there is some toys are there, so you moved here, okay. Then again you saw here that Gupchup stall is there, so from there you came here. After that you saw, no, I want ice cream also, so you came here, okay. Then you saw So no, I will get some chocolate from there. So I will go here. Then you saw there is giant wheel here. So you came here. Like this you can move. Means there is not a particular direction is needed. You are just moving arbitrarily here and there like that. This is that kind of motion. But here this motion I can compare with the motion in a traffic. Okay. Let it is a traffic signal is here. Okay. A traffic signal is here and the vehicles are here. Okay. Here all the vehicles are there. They are very close to each other. Okay. Vehicles are there. And I am putting a tiger from here. I am keeping a tiger. I am instructing the tiger. It is a trained tiger and I am instructing it to run from here. Now what will happen? This, if the tiger is coming, it does not mean that all this can go in a straight line. No, they are what? They are afraid and they starts moving from here. Then remember that tiger is behind. So this person, once it is going and it is striked here or it is facing a obstacle here, it is not going to move back. It will move like this. Wherever it is finding some free space. Now again free space is along this side also, but it is not going to move along this side because this tiger is there. So from here it is going to move like this. Again from there it is going to move like this. Again from there it will move like this. Means here the motion was completely arbitrary. It may move forward, it may move backward, it may move straight, it may move down like that. But here the motion is not, it is also arbitrary. You cannot predict, but it is intended in one direction. Here how the motion is, if I will draw it here, it may be like this. Like this. So you can change the what is the difference. Here also it is going to bombarded again and again. Here also it bombarded again and again. But here it has complete arbitrary. It may move backward also. But here a tiger is there. You cannot move backward. Similarly, here a force is there along that direction. Electric field is along this direction. It means a force is there along that direction. So the electrons cannot move now towards this. They are bound to move on that direction because they are feeling a experience on that direction. So they will move like this. Okay. Now let us derive something. Then again I will come to this example and I will let you know what are the more difference between them. Okay, let us derive some more some mathematical form. Okay, check here what we got. A vector equal to this much. Okay, and U average equal to 0. These two we are going. This is let equation 1. Okay, and let this is equation 2. Now after getting the acceleration means what? Change in velocity. If one object is getting acceleration means its velocity will change. Now if its velocity is changing, then I can write V equal to U vector plus A vector into T, V equal U plus AT, first equation of motion. So for the first electron I am writing V1 equal to U1 plus A into T. I am not A into T1. I am not going to write A1. Why A1? Not writing A1 because A vector was given by minus E into E vector divided by M, and you can see it is a complete constant. For every electron, charge is same. Throughout the region, the electric field is created same for constant, and mass of electron. This complete thing is constant. Now, since this complete thing is constant, then obviously here I am not writing A1, A2, A3. For all the electrons, this is for first electron, this is for second electron. U2 vector plus A vector V2, V3 vector equal to U3 vector, A vector T3, like that up to Vn vector, that is Un vector plus A vector into Tn. Now from all this, and remember what is this T1, T2, T3, T4? If a electron from here, there is a molecule here and there is a molecule here, if the electron at any instant moving from here to here, after that it got collide. So whatever time it got to move from here to here, that is known as T1. Okay, or you may write it as tau 1 also. tau 1. What is tau? Tau is known as relaxation time. Okay, I will just come to that. So if you add all this, what equation you are going to get? Add and you find the average. Add and find the average. So I want to find this value V average. How much you are going to get that? V1 vector plus V2 vector like this up to Vn vector divided by n. Now I can write it as all these value V1 vector, V2 vector, you put it here, you will get U1 vector plus A vector T1 plus U2 vector plus A vector T2 like this up to Un vector plus A vector Tn divided by n. Okay, now you just separate there are two terms, I can separate like this, U1 vector plus U2 vector up to Un vector by n plus A vector I can take common from all the terms, and here I will get T1 plus T2 up to Tn divided by n. Now from the first equation we have already proved that this was 0, because these were the average thermal velocity and this was 0 from equation 1. Okay, now what is the remaining thing? A vector into this. What is this? You can see that these are the average of some time or average of this time, relaxation time. So I am writing it as let tau. So I can write it as A vector into tau. So I am writing V average vector equal to A vector into tau. Okay, this is actually T average, but we are going to use the symbol tau for it, and for the V average we are going to use a symbol Vd vector, or known as drift velocity. I will just explain all these terms. Drift velocity. Okay, and this tau 1, tau 2, tau 3, all these were known as relaxation time. And this tau, this average, okay, this is known as average relaxation time. I will explain all the terms. Okay, now just if you put this value here, Vd vector, I can write it as Vd vector equal to A vector. What is the value of A vector? A vector, now you put it here. If you put A vector, don't write note like this. In your copy you note by putting equation 2 like that, you write as you are writing in a you are going to write in exam. Okay, so Vd vector equal to, if you put it here, minus E into E vector by m into tau. Don't write tau vector, tau is time. Okay, it is a scalar. So this is the expression of drift velocity. I will just tell what is drift velocity is, and also I can write it as Vd equal to E into E by m into tau in scalar form. This is a scalar form of the same thing. If you are writing it in scalar form, you have to only write about the magnitude, so no minus will be there. And if you want, I want to write it in terms of V or potential difference, I can write it as V by L tau by m, because as we know E equal to V by L. What is L? L is the length of the conductor. So finally I can write the expression as Vd equal to E V tau divided by L into m. This is also I can write. Okay, so these are the expressions. 3 expressions. This is in vector form, this is in scalar form with electric field expressions, and this is with V. Remember, Vd is drift velocity and V is potential here. V is not velocity here, V is potential difference. Across the two ends of the conductor. Now let us understand it with some what more concepts. What is this drift velocity? Okay, let us first understand what is this drift velocity is. See, this drift, one particle is there which was moving like this. Let in the traffic example, I moved from here to here, then again I came from here to here, then I came from here to here, then from here, then like this I am moving. Okay, so if you find the distance, okay, how much distance you have traveled, this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this. So if you find the speed, okay, how much speed is actual, see, from here to here you are going to move with a very high speed because the tiger is behind you. So from here to here you moved with a very high speed. You accelerate your bike and you move from here to here. But when you reached here, you are going to obstacle by this other vehicle. So your speed again became 0. Now again you have to move from here to here with a very high speed. Then again your velocity became 0. Then again you accelerate and again came from here to here. So although in between these you are moving with a very high speed, but finally when you calculate your average velocity, how much velocity, velocity means displacement from here to, let here you move, this is your initial point, this is your final point. So this is your net velocity vector, displacement vector, this is your net displacement vector, join the initial point and the final point. If this is the velocity displacement vector, accordingly you can find the velocity. And obviously remember, you are striked here 5 times, 6 times. If you move from here to here directly, then your velocity will be very much high. If it is an open road and a tiger is behind you, then you can move with a very high velocity. But if it is a traffic, there are many obstacles are here and there, then although you are moving in between this space, you are moving with a very high speed. But finally when you check how much distance you traveled, final distance or final displacement, and from there if you are going to calculate the final velocity, then you will see that it will be a very small number. Okay, that small number actually is this drift velocity. Okay, electrons are moving from here to here, here to here, here to here with a very high speed. With how much speed? About 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Just before some time I told this number. But remember, in a 1 meter cube area, in a 1 meter cube volume, they are getting 10 to the power 28 number of electrons plus additional molecules plus additional ions. So you assume how many number of obstacles they are going to get in a 1 meter length. 10 to the power 28 number of collisions. So how much will be their average speed, average velocity? It will be obviously very less. It cannot be 10 to the power 5 meter per second. So these motions from here to here, here to here, here to here, those motions are very high. How much? 10 to the power 5 meter per second. But finally this drift velocity, when you are finding out this net velocity, that is coming as 1 mm per second. Check these two numbers. 10 to the power 5 meter per second means 1 lakh meter per second. Okay, it is very, very high speed, but it is 1 mm per second, 1 millimeter per second. And why this much decreased? Due to this much density, due to very, very high number of collisions. Okay, and what is this relaxation time? Relaxation time is this. From here to here, how much he is relaxed or how much time he is getting between two successive collisions. Note it down also separately, the definition of relaxation time. It is the time between two successive collisions when an electron is moving inside a conductor due to the application of the potential difference. If there is a conductor, you have applied a potential difference, then the electron starts moving, and between every two successive collision, the time is known as relaxation time. Now it is very clear that every electron will not have the same relaxation time, because if here one electron is there, let one electron is here, it can move for this much time before its first collision. But if here a electron is there and it is moving towards this direction, it can move only for this much time. So obviously the relaxation time for the fast particle is this much, for this particle is this much. So everyone will have different relaxation time. So that is why T1, T2, T4, T4 like that up to Tn. Okay, and if you find all the average T1 plus T2 plus T3 up to Tn divided by n means average, you are finding actually average relaxation time. That is why, and that is written as tau. Remember, don't write this T, actually I am writing here T, but you can also write it as tau. Okay, to make it simple I have written is T, you can write it T, but at the final expression you should write that this average relaxation time is in symbol of tau, which is known as average relaxation time, and these three expressions you have to remember for the next uses. Okay.
What are the conclusions we obtained from here? First thing, whenever you are applied a potential difference, electric field is created from the positive plate towards the negative plate. Okay, and it will move the electrons in the opposite direction. In the opposite direction. If the electric field is in this way, then the electrons will move towards this. If the electric field is in this way, then the electrons will move towards this. Okay, in the opposite direction. First thing. Second thing, all the electrons are not going to move. Only the free electrons will move. Okay, and that is why insulators are actually insulators. Insulators are insulators because they have very less number of free electrons. Very less, very few. And if free electrons are not there, they have very large number of electrons, but those electrons are attached with the nucleus, they cannot move. Which can move? Only the free electrons. And since insulator does not have those free electrons, that is why current cannot be generated, because we have seen in the derivation that current is generated from the free electrons. Second point. Third point. When the electrons are moving without any potential difference, then the motion is zigzag motion. Very complete arbitrary. There is no certain tendency, means like there is no one in the classroom, no teacher is in the classroom, only the students are there and they are just moving here and there with their friends. That kind of motion, very arbitrary. Okay, and the speed with means during that motion is very high. How much? 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Okay, from here I run here, then I stopped with my friend, with one of my friend, then from there I ran and came to another friend, I again stopped there, then from there I accelerated and again came to another friend. So like that they are striking and moving, but there, if you are going to find the speed between two collisions or two obstacles, then the speed is very high, 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Now when you have applied a potential difference, you can assume this as a very, it is also an arbitrary motion, but they all try to move in a particular direction. Like I have told, you are in a traffic and a tiger is running behind you. Okay, so you cannot just move here and then came backward. No, you move here, then here, then here. You find your path, but you are intended to move from this side to other side because the tiger is coming from this side. So that kind of motion of the electrons will be there when there is a potential difference. Okay, and the net velocity. Okay, net velocity means let I am moving from here like this. I have moved a very large distance, but I have struck many times I have struck. Many times means I cannot show you how many times, because it is in the range of 10 to the power 28. That much amount of strike I will feel in a volume of 1 meter cube. Okay, so you can assume how much, if to cross this much distance, how much time I need, and what if I calculate the net velocity from initial point to final point is my displacement. Okay, finally you forget how you moved. You came from here to here. Okay, after a very high time. Why? Because in between you are getting very much collision. So from here to here, in a 10 second or 20 second or 1 minute. Okay, so what will be the average velocity? This much displacement divided by time, and that velocity is known as drift velocity, whose values range from some millimeter per second, 1 millimeter per second to up to 5-6 millimeter per second according to the electron density inside a matter. Okay, so these terms are very important. These You have to also find know the definition, okay, of relaxation time, of drift velocity, of thermal velocity. When there is no potential difference, that velocity is thermal velocity. When there is a potential difference, that net velocity is known as drift velocity. Relaxation time, average relaxation time, how much acceleration one is getting, and obviously the final expression. Final expression is relation between drift velocity and electric field, or relation between drift velocity and the potential difference. Okay, that we are going to use in the numericals in the next classes, or in today's class also we will use some more. Now let us come to the next question. Okay, here again one thing I want to show you.
Let us see here. Here this Vd equal to minus here. Here this minus symbol indicates that the direction of Vd vector and E vector are opposite. In whichever direction the E will be created, in the opposite direction the velocity vector will be, or the drift velocity vector will be. It means in which direction electric field will be, in the opposite direction the electrons will move. Okay, the net velocity will be in the opposite direction. That is why this negative symbol symbolize here. Okay, now let us come to the next part. In this part we will derive a relation between current and drift velocity. What we will derive? A relation between current and drift velocity, means I and Vd. Vd. Okay, V velocity, D is for drift velocity. Okay, now how to do that? A very simple derivation. Let there is a conductor here, okay, where you have applied a potential difference. Let like this, that is potential difference is V. So since the potential difference is along this direction, electric field will be along this direction from positive to negative, and all these electrons will obviously move in the, let these are the free electrons, I am only showing the free electrons here, these will move in this direction, all the electrons will move in this direction. Remember that in this direction does not mean they are directly moving in this direction. This direction means they are actually moving here and there, but the final velocity will be in this direction, in the opposite direction of electric field. Now let the cross sectional area of this conductor is A, and the length of the conductor is let L. Okay, now I have to find the current. How to find? Just let us start from the general expression, I equal to Q by T. Okay, so first we have to find Q, then you have to find T and put in the equation to find the relation. Okay, so first let us find Q. Q, what is the total charge? Total number of electrons into charge of one electron. What will be the total charge? Yes or no? Total number, what is N? N is total number of electrons. Inside the conductor, whatever total number of electrons are there, multiply that with E, or let us write it as E. We are just finding the magnitude of the current. Okay, so E, charge of electron. Now what is the total number of electron? How I can write that is N into volume into E. What is N here? N is electron density, or electrons per unit volume, or I can tell it as electron density. Obviously electron per unit volume into volume, we will get obviously total number of electrons. Now again this thing I can write it as Q equal to, see here volume I can write it as area of cross section into length, this volume of this total cylinder. How I will get? Area of cross section into length, so area of cross section into length into E is there. So this is the total charge, put it here. Now how to get the time? Time I can get by distance by velocity, okay, or let me write it as displacement by velocity. displacement by velocity. What is the displacement from here to here? Means the displacement is L. Yes or no? This is time equal to. So displacement is L from here to here and velocity is Vd. Remember, is the net velocity with which it was moving. So it is T equal to L by Vd. Now put it here. Finish. Just put these values and find the answer. Now what is the value of I then? Value of I can write it as I will be equal to this Q, it will be N into A into L into E divided by L by Vd. This will cancel out. This Vd will go to the numerator and you will get I equal to NEA Vd. And this is your final expression for current. And this is also a relation between current and drift velocity. Okay, relation between current and drift velocity. I equal to NEA Vd, where N is, remember, electron density or free electron density in a metal or in a conductor in which you are finding the current. Okay, not total number of electrons, it is the electron density, means electrons per unit volume. Here we have started with capital N, that was the total number of electrons, but we have replaced that with small n, or number of electrons per unit volume into volume. This N equal to this. So N was electron per unit volume or electron density. So this formula also you have to remember, and is a very important formula to apply in the numericals. Okay. Now let us check. There is another small term is there. Let me just write it there here. That is known as current density vector. Current density vector. You don't write the notes like this. Okay, after finishing this you start writing this current density vector, and it is denoted by J. First let me define, then I will tell why it is needed. J is defined as I by A, or J vector I can write it as J vector equal to I by A vector. Okay, or simply I can write J equal to I is NEA Vd in scalar form. If I write, divided by A, if you will cancel out, J will be equal to NE Vd, or in vector form if you want to write, J vector equal to N into, sorry, here there will be a minus. Okay, let me write it in scalar form. This is the scalar form, and in vector form if you want to write, it will be J vector will be equal to minus NE Vd vector. From where this minus came? From here. In vector form if you want to write, then E will be actually minus E, because you have to use its its sign also. Now what is the need of this? If current, as we know that current is a scalar. Okay, current although has some direction, but it is a scalar.
Now since current is a scalar, you cannot write I vector, and although you cannot ignore the direction of current every time. That is why this J vector is needed. J vector is actually a vector using which we can write the magnitude of current also, or we can find the magnitude of current also, and also we find the direction of current. Remember, the direction of J vector and the direction of current are always in the same direction. So by using the J vector, we can actually find the magnitude of current and also the direction of current. That is what important part. Current is a scalar although it has a direction. Okay, but we cannot also ignore that direction. That is why this J vector came into existence. Okay. Now let us solve some 2-3 questions, and I will give you some questions also in your as your assignment. Write down the first question. You can note it down first. What is the drift velocity of electrons in silver wire of length 1 meter having cross-sectional area 3.14 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square and carrying a current of 10 ampere? Okay, given atomic mass of silver equal to 108 and density of silver equal to 10.5, into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Let me again repeat it. What is the drift velocity of electrons in silver wire of length 1 meter having cross-sectional area 3.14 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square and carrying a current of 10 ampere? Given atomic mass of silver equal 180 and density of silver equal to 10.5 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. Okay, let us solve it.
Is asked here to find the find the drift velocity, and for drift velocity we know a formula from here, I equal to NEA VD, or I can write VD equal to I by N into E into A. I is given here in the expression in the exam question directly 10 ampere. A is also given directly, okay, A given directly as some what is the value of A given is 3.14 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square. This is also given. E is a constant, so that also we know. So remaining thing is this N. If anyhow we are going to get this N value, then we can put in this formula to find the answer of VD. Now let us find the value of N. What is N? N is the electron density or electron per unit volume. Okay. So how to do that? Let us first find the mass of the wire. Let me do it, then I will tell why I found this mass of the wire. How I find mass? I can find the mass of the wire, volume into density. We know that density equal to mass by volume, so mass equal to volume into density. Or I can write M will be equal to volume, I can write it as area of cross section into length. Why I will write? Because area of cross section is given, L is given, volume is not given directly, so A into L into this density I am writing it as let rho. Okay, but if you see the question, it is all given in SI unit. This is in meter square, this is in some meter, and this is some kg per meter cube. But I want to write it this much in SI unit, actually it is given. Okay, or this much kg it is given. So if I want to write the value of mass, why I will tell you why I am writing this in terms of CGS unit, then I can write this much into 10 to the power 3 gram, because kg to gram I have converted. Now why I have converted this? To use the Avogadro's law, Avogadro's number. What is or mole concept? What is mole concept? If you can remember from your knowledge of chemistry, you can know or you can remind that the gram molecular mass, here the silver molecular mass will be 108 gram, it is given. 108 gram of silver will contain Avogadro's number of atom, or 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 number of molecules, actually number of molecules, but that will be equal to number of atoms, because silver is a monoatomic, silver molecule is monoatomic, and it is given in the question that each molecule or each atom is giving one free electron. Okay, it is given in the question that each, okay, it is not given, you should write it. Okay, you write it down a particular point in the question, you add it, that assume that one atom is giving one free electron. Okay, one atom is giving one free electron, you add this in the question. So it will be that much number of electrons, that much number of free electrons. Remember, don't calculate the number of electrons in this much number of atoms. No, we have to calculate the number of free electrons, and that is given in the question that each atom is provide one free electron. So this much number of atom will this much number of free electrons. Now from where I got it, you just remember that from mole concept, 1 gram molecular mass is containing Avogadro's number of molecules. So that from there I got. So 108 gram of silver will contain this much number of molecules, and from there this much number of free electrons. So 1 gram will contain how much? This much, 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 divided by 108. Now if 1 gram contains this much, then this much gram, that is why I actually calculated this in gram. So this much gram means A into L into rho into 10 to the power 3 gram will contain this much number of free electrons. Will contain 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 divided by 108 into A into L into rho into 10 to the power 3 number of free electrons. Okay, and what is this? This is the total number of free electrons. Remember, total number of free electrons. So what will be the electron density? Electron density, it will be this divided by volume, because total number of electrons divided by volume, you will get electron per unit volume. So if you write this much into 10 to the power 23 into A into L into rho into 10 to the power 3 divided by 108 into A into L. This is the volume. Okay, so this thing will cancel out and this will be the remaining thing. Okay, if I will just write down this value, put the values, then I can write it as n equal to, because this is electron density, and electron density n is written as n 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. Then this rho value is given, it is given as 10 to the power 5 into 10 to the power 3, sorry 10.5 into 10 to the power 3, and there is again a 10 to the power 3 is here divided by 108. This is what? This is n. Now you take this value and put it here. Okay, all other things we already know, in the question itself it is given, just take it and put it here, then you will find the answer. Okay, so let me just do it. If you will solve, then VD will be equal to, I is given as 10, n is this much. So if you divide it, 108 will go to the numerator, 108 will go to the numerator, and it will be 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 into 10.5 into 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power 3. This I am writing as 10 to the power 6. Okay, this thing will be 10 to the power 6. Again there is a E is here and A is here. E is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and A given is 3.14 into 10 to the power minus 6. So all this you calculate wisely, don't calculate like fools. Take the powers to one side and then you calculate, and you will find the answer as 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter per second. Okay, 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter per second. So you can see how much small it is. This is the drift velocity. Remember, here actually physics is less and chemistry is more. Why? Because this formula is directly we can use, only we have to find the value of n, and for that we have to use the chemistry concept, that is mole concept. How to use? Again let me tell. We have first found the mass in gram. Okay, then we use the mole concept, where we know that gram molecular mass will contain this much number of molecule, and since silver is a monoatomic, it will contain the same number of atom, and it is, I have told you to add in the question, it is given in the question actually, by mistake I forgot to detect you. So that one atom is providing you one free electron, so this much number of free electrons. So 108 gram of silver contains this much number of free electron. 1 gram will contain this much number of free electron divided by 108. So this much gram, remember this much gram we have to convert, this much gram will convert, will contain this much number of free electron. I don't want what is the total number of free electron, I want number of free electrons by volume. So if I do by volume or A into L, I will get the electron density. Once I get electron density, then use that in this formula to find the final answer of drift velocity. Okay. Now I am giving you 2 assignments here, you have to do that. Let me read out the
assignments. You just note it down. First question, 10 coulomb of charge flows through a wire in 5 minutes. 10 coulomb of charge flows through wire in 5 minutes. The radius of the wire is 1 mm. It contains 5 into 10 to the power 22 electrons per centimeter cube. Calculate the current and drift velocity. Okay, the very direct question, just use the basic formula, you will find the answer. Again, let me read it out. 10 coulomb of charge flows through a wire in 5 minutes. The radius of the wire is 1 mm. It contains 5 into 10 to the power 22 electrons per centimeter cube. Calculate the current and drift velocity. Next question, note it down. A current I, capital I, flows in a wire of circular cross section with free electrons traveling with a drift velocity V naught. A current I, again I am telling, a current I, capital I, flows in a wire of circular cross section with free electrons traveling with a drift velocity V naught or V0. What will be the drift velocity of the electrons when a current 2I flows in another wire of twice the radius and of the same material? Okay. What will be the drift velocity of the electrons when a current 2I flows in another wire of twice the radius and of the same material? Okay, these are the 2 questions. Now let me come to the final and the last questions of today's class. Note it down, I will solve it. This question I will solve. The previous 2 were your assignment. In a neon gas, okay, I think you know what is a neon. It is an element in the chemistry or in the element table. In a neon gas discharge tube, 2.9 into 10 to the power 18 Ne plus move to the right, or neon plus ions move to the right. In a neon gas discharge tube, 2.9 into 10 to the power 18 neon plus ion move to the right. Through a cross section of the tube each second. It is a complete line actually, to the right through a cross section of the tube each second. While 1.2 into 10 to the power 19 electrons move to the left in the same time. Find the magnitude and direction of current. Okay, let us solve.
So what is given? It is given that in a neon discharge tube, Ne plus ion, how many number of Ne plus ion? 2.9 into 10 to the power 18 Ne plus ion moves to right per second. Okay, this much per second moves towards the right, and 1.2 into 10 to the power 19 electrons moves towards the left, again per second moves towards the left. Okay, find the magnitude and direction of current. Let us solve it in scalar method only. Don't go for vector method, it will be complicated or it will be confusing. So what will be I1? I1 will be equal to Q1 by T. What is Q1? N1 into E by T. Why E? Because it is plus 1 charge, and N1 is the number of electron. So it will be 2.9 into 10 to the power 18 into E. E is how much? 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by T is 1 second. So what is the value of I1 is, you calculate, you will find 0.464 ampere. Similarly find I2. What is I2? Current due to the electron. It was current due to the Ne plus ion, and current due to the electron, it will be Q2 divided by T or N2E divided by T. Again E, why I have again E? Charge of electron. Remember, from the starting I am telling, don't go for the vector method, always solve in the scalar method. So I am not writing the symbol, okay, here. So N2 into E, N2 is given as this much, 1.2 into 10 to the power 19, this much, and E is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by 1, okay, 1 is 1 second time. So I am getting I2 equal to how much? 1.92 ampere. Okay, now the important part comes. What is that? These charges are going in this direction, so the current is moving also in this direction, because in the direction of positive charge current moves. Now these electrons are moving in this direction, and for negative charge or for electron, in whichever direction the electrons move, the opposite direction is the direction of current. So in the first case also this is the current direction, and in the second case also this is the current direction. Again I am repeating, for these positive charges, the direction of the current, the direction of the motion of the charges will be the direction of current. So here the current is moving in this direction. For negative charges or for electron, the direction of the motion and the current are in opposite direction. So for this case, the current is again moving in that direction. So what will the net current? I will be equal to I1 plus I2. So I will be equal to 0.464 plus 1.92, or I equal to 2.384 ampere. Okay, so here important thing is to remember or is to find the direction of the current. This case also in this direction, this case also in this direction. Okay, if this is also a positive charge, if, then the current will be in this direction, and in that case you have to do I1 minus I2 or I2 minus I1, whichever is greater minus smaller one. Okay, so these are all the concepts,
And for today we are going to close the class here, and in the next class we will go for some more questions or some more concepts. Okay, till then kindly note the concepts clearly by listening the video. Don't just pause it and write all the notes. Don't do like that. Imagine that you are learning in the class, and whenever I am telling something, you write it down according by checking the copy simultaneously. Don't pause and write. In that case you may not get some conceptual clarity, although you can complete your note, but you will not get the conceptual clarity. Okay, so for now this much. Thank you and be safe. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.